I'm going to play you a video clip in a minute. It's about 2 minutes long, and it's about one of the most important things that's happened in modern history. Every single one of you will be absolutely fully aware of it and where you were when it happened. What's interesting about it is that although it's such a massive part of history, the stories and the narrative around it are completely confused still, and in large part the official narrative very unbelievable. But that will never be admitted by the mainstream, never be admitted by the press or the politics or those in charge. And we seem to live in a world now where many more of us now are aware of what goes on around us, and are aware that the mainstream media, that politicians, and that generally speaking the authorities, if you want to call them that, don't always tell us the truth. But we seem to think that that's a new occurrence. We seem to think that's only happened in the last sort of 5-10 years. I think the reason that has come about is because of the massive growth of the internet and the massive growth of social media. So these things get discussed a lot more. But those in charge have been seeking to hide the truth, to gerrymander the truth, to tailor the truth for a long, long time. Watch this video and then come back to me and tell me what you think about this huge event in history. I'm not going to comment because I'll drop myself in this shit and probably get myself banned. But just watch the video and then I'll quickly comment on it afterwards.
Clarification, because as we get into this, we want people to make sure that you're not just somebody with a wacky idea.
Right.
Okay, you come with some science to you. What is the official reason for the collapse of the World Trade Center towers?
Well, we're told that the planes hit the buildings, and there was an explosion and a fire, and about an hour and a half later, in the case of the North Tower, the buildings collapsed due to structural weakening due to the fires. Mm-hmm. The problem is that we don't have large gradual deformations associated with collapses, and fires in high-rises have never brought down a steel frame high-rise building at all, ever. And what we have, unfortunately, is the evidence in the Twin Towers and the third skyscraper to collapse that day, which most people don't know anything about it. We have the evidence of the 10 key features of controlled demolition. In the case of Building 7, it collapses straight down into its own footprint at free fall speed in the first 100 feet. It's dropping, as you can see, symmetrically, smoothly, at free fall speed in the first 100 feet, 2.5 seconds. This is uncanny. There's 40,000 tons of structural steel designed to resist this collapse.
Is it, what, a 47-story building?
Yeah, this is called Building 7, right a football field away from the Twin Towers. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what we're showing is left what happened. In fact, right is a controlled where you are using, or the people who made this happen, used demolition.
Indeed, and this is a direct comparison. And you can see that, indeed, almost free fall speed, free fall acceleration through 40,000 tons of structural steel. That is uncanny. So we have 700 architects and engineers demanding a new investigation as a result of this evidence and the evidence in the World Trade Center. That is very explosive. Almost every architect and engineer we show this information to agrees with us that these are controlled demolitions. If we can get them to look at the information, because obviously the implications of a controlled demolition are dark for our country, because that means somebody besides Al-Qaeda was involved, because these have to be easily 3 of the most highly secure buildings outside the Pentagon.
What do you think? Have you seen that before? Do you know the stories that go around this? Are you aware that something like 3,500 leading engineers and designers and people that are construction workers and architects have signed open letters saying that they don't believe the official narrative on this? Does it seem likely that 3 huge buildings can just collapse straight downwards into their own footprint just because of fire, when that's never happened before and never happened since? Why is this not more of a topic of discussion, bearing in mind that this directly led to the Iraq invasion and the war on terror and the Afghanistan invasion, and much of what's gone on over the last 24 years can be traced pretty much directly back to this event? Yet we are led to believe that everything we're told is correct. Yet if you watch that video, what would you think? Do you think that's correct? As I say, I can't really discuss this too much on here because we know what will happen, but I am interested in hearing your views, interested in hearing what you think, interested in hearing what you believe is true about the official narrative. Let me know your thoughts, and if this, one of the biggest events in modern history, is not as portrayed, what else isn't? Let me know.